But yeah, I'm definitely voting tomorrow. I got my doctor's appointment tomorrow. It's gonna be a busy day for me tomorrow, but I'm definitely gonna be. You said, will I say who I'm voting for? Yeah, yeah, I can put it out there. So, me personally, I am voting for Kamala Harris, and when it comes to why, I'm gonna say this. You say you're voting Trump. Fair enough. Um, I'm not gonna go on the whole rant of like, you know, a bunch of reasons. Oh, I don't like Trump for this and that. Da 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 da. The reason why I feel like this needs to happen is because Trump, despite any of his miscomings or anything, the main problem I have with Trump is that he is a disruption to our system of government, and he has been ever since he came onto the scene. Um, I'm not going to sit here and talk about races and all that stuff that people focus on. I'm not focusing on that. My main thing is we as a country have not been able to really progress here lately, and we're all feeling the pinch, and everybody points the finger at Biden and this and that. But the reality is, our government hasn't been working as a government for some years now because of the fact that ever since Trump came onto the scene, and like I said, I'm not going after Trump, but ever since Trump came onto the scene, Republicans haven't been Republicans. Um, Republicans haven't, it used to be we had a government where we have Republicans and Democrats. They disagree on certain things, but they sit down at the table. They try to come together for some sort of middle ground. Ever since Trump has been around, he has. It doesn't need that level of disruption to the point where. So basically, what I'm seeing, at least in my eyes, is you have Republicans that have just been falling in line with whatever they think that MAGA wants, and it doesn't matter if they don't believe it. They may say things behind closed doors against Trump and this and that, but they all fall in line. And I've even seen them do it on some of the simplest things, like even when the guy made the cartoon of the lady being killed and this and that, and they were just trying to get them to acknowledge that that was wrong, and like all the Republicans were just they wouldn't say they just wouldn't do it, and so we have this government now which hasn't been operating because it's just been a constant stalemate. And I feel like if Trump loses this election, then he won't run again because I think he'll just be too old by the time the next 4 years comes around. And if we can get Trump out of politics and he's no longer a threat to Republicans, because that's who he's really a threat to. You know what I'm saying? It's not the Democrats. He's a threat to the Republicans. And because Republicans right now, a lot of Republicans, and I feel bad for Republicans because a lot of people think that, and I remember when I was having the conversation with Stoner last night, she was like trying to say that like, I always vote Democrat. I always vote Democrat because I just, that's just what I do. And I'm like, no, that's not true. Like, I actually do agree with some Republican views and stuff like that. It's like, I'm open to listen to candidates and stuff like that. I really am. So when it comes down to it, I actually feel bad for a lot of Republicans because I feel like the Republican Party was hijacked. You know what I'm saying? I feel like it was hijacked by a guy because traditionally Trump was also used to run with Democrats. And so somehow he got into this and ran as a Republican, and he doesn't really fall in line with what Republicans traditionally stood for. So you got a lot of Republicans sitting there scratching their head. They don't know what the fuck to do because it's not what they stand for, but they can't say anything and they can't do anything. And that's not government. That's not government. It's like I feel like the Republican Party is being held hostage by MAGA, and I just feel like if we can put an end to that, if we can put an end to the MAGA reign on the Republican Party, then I think we can get back to a system where our government actually works. I mean, that's just what I believe. Like I said, I'm not going to sit here and try to shit on the man for every little thing I don't like about him. But at the end of the day, if he were to win the presidency, hey, it, so be it. I'm not going to cry. I'm not going to cry. You know what I'm saying? But I just think that it's our system of government has been fucked up. It might have needed a little shaking up. You know what I'm saying? I think he did do a good job of exposing just how phony some shit is. Like, I think he did a good job of exposing just how above the law politicians are. And I think that's fucked up. You know what I'm saying? Because like we all kind of knew it before, but I think one of the things that I found the most ironic about the whole Trump era has been the fact that he kicked the door open by pointing out how Hillary's emails, like if you would have done it as a regular American, you would be in jail. And that was his whole thing. That's what he really got people fired up on, and they all hated Hillary because she thought she's better than the average American. You know what I'm saying? And that's where he started. But then to see the way he's operated ever since, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, anytime the government's prosecuting him for anything, all he has to do is just say, it's just a witch hunt. And next thing you know, all of his followers are just, you're right. They're just doing it because they hate Trump. It's like, this is broken. This is broken. And it shouldn't work this way, man. It really shouldn't. People shouldn't be operating in, like, yo, we literally lived in a time. Think about this, man. Really think about this. We literally lived in a time where members of his own party would be scared to say anything about the president because they were scared that he would tweet about them. That's crazy. Like, that's insane. that's insane, man. Like, honestly. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, it just is. There's just certain things that have just happened. And then, you know, I had somebody tell me that they really like JD Vance, and you know, I'm having a hard time wrapping my head around how anybody could support a man that openly claims that he made up a story about a certain group of people eating people's dogs and stuff. He made up the story so that people would pay attention to what they wanted to talk about. Like, this is what he openly said. You know what I'm saying? And so you're telling me that you told a big ass lie about this group of people to advance yourself, to advance what you wanted to talk about. And that's a noble thing. That's what people are saying is a good candidate. I don't see it. So yeah, I gotta vote. I gotta vote. And I'll be honest with you. I'm dead ass serious, man. I wasn't sure what I was gonna do when Bernie was running. I wasn't sure what I was gonna do. I mean, not Bernie, Biden. I wasn't sure what I was gonna do, man. Like, you know, he definitely was a huge disappointment every time I would listen to him talk. And I just always felt like he was a weak person. You know, so hopefully we'll get somebody in there with a little bit of spunk. And, you know, I know people say, well, how come she didn't do this and that and this and that? Well, she wasn't president, you know, and now she'll be president, you know, Lord willing, and we'll see what happens. But yeah, I'm not, and like I say, I'm not afraid to say who I'm voting for. And at the same time, anybody in here that's voting for Trump, you know, you're not my enemy. You know, I don't have any problem with that. Everybody's entitled to their views and stuff. And I think that that's a good thing, man. And that, like I say, that's where we used to be. That's where we used to be. Because that's another thing. You know, it's one thing when I talk about how our government, system of government has been broken. But not only that, the level of hatred that people have toward each other when they find out each other's political affiliations these days is ridiculous. It's fucking ridiculous. Exactly, Hallam. Exactly. But yeah, I mean, people are like I saw this TikTok, and it was one of those TikToks where it's like, hey, help us find and identify this person. And it was this kid. He was a teenager, and it was a family that was riding with their kid in the back seat, and apparently they had a Harris sticker on their car, and it pissed the boy off. So next thing you know, they were saying that before the video started, I guess, he got up next to him, started yelling some shit at him and all that. They come to a light, they turn left, he goes right. But then no, it wasn't enough. He flips around, that's when they start recording, right? And I just see this, they're driving, they got the window down, the boy gets up next to him, and the wife is in the passenger seat. And she's like, "What's your problem?" And the boy's like, "Fuck you, bitch! Fuck you! Trump 2024!" And I'm like, yo, what the fuck, man? And then, like, he yelled some more shit or whatever. But they ended up finding out who he was. And apparently his parents were, like, so upset about it and shit that, they chose to reach out to the family and all that. And they didn't release the boy's name, which, because he's a minor and shit. But it's just crazy that, like, the boy's underage, right? How much does he even really fucking know about politics? You know what I'm saying? But yet he feels so strongly about Trump that he's riding around yelling shit at people. Like, what the fuck is that about? Like, seriously. And listen, I'll say this, man. Because, I don't think that, like, all the people that fuck with Trump are racist by any means. You know what I'm saying? Because I see, some of y'all said something about MAGA being racist and stuff like that. I don't think that, that all MAGA people are racist. I think that some people like him for different reasons and shit. I mean, he's chauvinistic. You know what I'm saying? Now, I mean, people like him for different reasons and shit. It's not all just, race stuff and things like that. But I will say, when it comes to politics now, like I said, there's so many people that are so animated about it that I don't know any fucking thing about politics. They just want to fucking yell because they just love Trump to death. Like let me ask y'all something, man. Let me ask y'all something. And this is for anybody that's a Trump supporter in here. You know what I'm saying? Like, please, I just this is an honest question. I'm really curious as to how Trump has been deemed like this man sent from God, like by the churches. Like all the churches, like really, really put their arms around Trump as one of their own. And Trump has shown time and time again that he knows nothing about the Bible. He's not a religious man. He has cheated on his wife. He sleeps with strippers and I ain't gonna say hookers, but strippers and stuff. I mean, he's slept with a porn star. He's talks about grabbing women by the coochie and all that stuff. I mean, I'm just really thrown by the fact that, like, how is he so accepted by the church? I don't get it. Like a cult. Some of them are. Some of them are like look in the first. I can't remember if he had already won the presidency or if it was when he was still running. But I just remember seeing like some rally and there was a dude there that had a shirt on that had Trump for whatever that year was. I think 2016. Then it had Barron Trump. Like it had Eric Trump, then Barron Trump, and it's like all these different Trump family names with the years and shit. And like, yo, that's insane. That's insane. That's insanity. That's like that is some cult shit. You know what I'm saying? It's like, how the fuck are you just because it's his family, just because they carry his name, you like so this. This shit is crazy, man. Yeah, time flies.